What's poppin', y'all? Somebody must have hit like Call of the Haunted because this person came back from the dead for a beef that most people never even knew happened. And that's this individual that's the new replacement at Hot 97 for who was formerly Rosenberg, Laura Stiles, and Ebro. And this individual is Mero, who used to be a part of a duo, Desus and Mero, that had some show a long time ago. And in the rollout for him becoming the new host, he decided to mention Akademiks.
Bullying works. Like, people be acting like bullying is all bad. It's not all bad. Like, that's how we got a lot of, like, goofy mother media now. Like, imagine Akademiks would have got jumped a bunch of times growing up. And now we wouldn't have to deal with that dude.
He'd be a different person.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He'd probably be a lot more, reserved and humble, you know?
I mean, it's kind of funny you bring him up because it's like those are the two ends of the spectrum where it's like kind of what you do, which I think resonates more broadly. And then there's kind of the edgy kick streamer side of it.
Right.
First off, this guy that's interviewing him is completely out of touch because when he's saying what you do resonates broadly, you're talking about broad, which means a lot of people seeing it. No, it's not broad. Maybe you want to say depth. Sure, that argument could be had. It's more of a subjective argument. But broadly, no, Akademiks is broad. And then he says like, oh, weird kick streamer angle of it. The guy was on Twitch for 10 years. Like, it's when people can critique, but they've got to have a legitimate critique because just 2 years ago, they would have called him, oh, the weird rumble side of things. But anyway, Akademiks, I think he tried to ignore this, but somebody brought it up and he decided to give them some attention.
You did a whole entire, this is your mock 50 Cent and T.I. versus battle. You did this 5 days ago, 626 views. Y'all don't like when I start really hitting with it. Oh, I see y'all was trying to bait me in. Hey, Akademiks, one of them guys who used to bully. You can't bully nothing. You acting like, oh, no, we can't find Ak, we can't. How about you do the bullying? It won't work. It never worked. I tell you today the thing is, I won't get your show popping because me and you ain't going back and forth. That's what you want. So I seen that little weakness like Rolling Stone, like, y'all think y'all could do the same old thing that worked back in the day. Oh, I'm going anti-Ak, so everybody support me. Nigga, eat a as talented as me. And I watch when y'all thought y'all had it, I watch y'all try to go and try to rise. And now I'm watching you trying to gain some type of, oh, I'm here. Let's try to beef with Ak to get like, Hot 97 is a failing system, my I clowned Ebro on the way out, and I'm waiting for your demise too. The other Desus, I don't know where the he at, because I'm on his head top too. I'm waiting for your demise, because your worse than his. And whoever this crack tooth looking at over, I don't give a about none of y'all. Y'all don't see I don't with none of y'all. I be over here just like stepping on y'all niggas. Talking my shit. I make y'all gotta deal with me. I never gotta talk about your opinion. I'm only talking about your opinion today because when I seen it and I actually subliminally mentioned it, my whole audience was like, we don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, y'all ain't gonna know, like, what really drives me is hate. Bum like this try to keep me out of this for so long.
Yo, just hearing the part where he said, yo, what really drives me is hate. I almost choked on my water. I haven't even eaten today, so I can't even say I almost choked on my food. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. But I don't see how Mero kept him out. Mero would never, I don't think Mero was ever in a position to keep anybody out of anything. Like, as far as I know, like, these guys were, I don't even know how they were initially popular, but I'm guessing they had some Twitter following in the early 2010s, and they parlayed that into whatever happened with their show. Now, I don't even know what was going on with the second guy. But Akademiks is talking about these guys. They've got a couple hundred views. I'm shocked that he's talking about them because like Hot 97, these are scary numbers. The funny thing is when you compare Hot 97 to Power 105, who are on Netflix now, their audience is so upset that in the comments, you have more individual comments complaining about the fact that Power 105 is on Netflix than you have viewers on an entire video on Hot 97's morning show with this new guy. So I just think he shouldn't have even called them out. But if you're probably wondering, like, yo, why does he still have some animosity towards some people that he just lapped 8-9 years ago. Honestly, before Akademiks even got on Complex, he was ahead of these guys, or Mero in particular. I don't know what the hell the Desus guy is doing, but while Mero kept it all funny guy, Akademiks went crazy disrespectful on his family.
Yo, Mero, imagine your mama was eat a your kids, your sister, your brother, whoever with you, all y'all eat a I wish all y'all die. What's up? I don't give two fucks about y'all.
So you're probably wondering, like, yo, what the hell? Like, why did he have to turn it up so hard on Mero? Like, this guy he was joking. Well, we gotta rewind. I gotta bring you guys back to Akademiks' everyday struggle, guys, because these guys had their own show and they roasted Akademiks so bad. Yeah, he did start crying.
Problem. Whatever. But it's really at me. So I don't really got time for that. So, and I know I might be getting a little bit emotional. I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Yeah, I can tell, pal. I can tell. Your collar's wet.
Oh, man.
And I know a lot of media might be watching now. I've been making more money than y'all before y'all even signed to y'all companies.
Wow. You heard his voice over? You know that
Yeah, bro.
leave my ATM receipt in the ATM every time just so I get inspired.
You know what I mean?
Say, y'all, take that back. Let me hear that again in a little trembling
Give me
voice.
a little now or later rap.
Talk about it now.
Hope you get it later.
I've been making more money than y'all before y'all even signed to y'all companies. I've been doing it on my own.
And what? Best Buy bucks? What are you talking about?
In fact, let's
how?
do the math now. We turned down the money Complex offered us 4 years ago that you're just getting now.
Oh.
If so facto.
So take your Camry, drive that back to Long Island, put that in park, and think about your life.
Now, just off of this part, I don't know why Akademiks was getting so emotional about this, but I mean, this guy has cried on stream multiple times. One of them was like, he's just getting drunk, I guess. But I think this one actually pierced him and touched him in a certain way where they hurt his feelings. But the part where they're saying, oh, we turned down the money that he got from Complex, it got leaked how much Akademiks and Joe were getting from Complex. When they started, it was $13,000 a month. So if those guys turned down $13,000 a month, then what are you going to tell me? They were making double at this point in time, which is 8 years ago? I don't know. But even if that was the case, let's say they were making double, 25, 26. Akademiks had made it known that he was making 110 grand a month before he ever got on Complex, and he wanted to get on there for more visibility, not because he was making more money. And that's also why Joe was in shock with like the paycheck, because he thought it was a high amount, and Akademiks was like, nah, he was shocked that Akademiks wasn't collecting the paychecks, that he would collect it twice a year or something like that, because he didn't need it. And then of course like the IG stuff started booming for him too, so he started making a ridiculous amount. So the whole like money argument really falls apart for these guys. But then they start roasting him.
That's how I'm coming. Them I don't give a fuck about him. Period.
Oh,
All right. Because I said that same energy, right? Finally, you brought it.
You said it with your chest.
You gonna regret that?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm still keeping the same energy. I don't give a fuck about them because I've never said nothing.
Because I'm in my mom's basement right now, in my gamer chair, and them niggas don't know where I live at. That's why I'm talking wild spicy.
Nigga talking wild spicy through files.
Yeah. Are you talking spicy in 240p? Come on.
Man, I don't care if you're on TV.
I'm not gonna lie, they got him here. This was funny. He didn't live with his mom's basement, but that wasn't the funny part. The funny part is when they're talking like he's talking about files, like he's on 144p. Really, that camera, that whole setup, it's almost like the camera was smudged for years and it was just never wiped down. And the funniest thing is when they tried to flex on his web show because they were on TV.
I don't care if you're on TV. Out of here. TV's wash. I don't give a fuck about TV.
Swell. Well, these JBL checks say otherwise, sir.
He said TV's washed.
I did not pay for these. These were shipped one day air, my guy.
If you would just hit me like, yo, listen, I don't know what you got going on, but I respect you, blah, blah. Different conversation, but y'all niggas don't respect me.
Yeah, we don't respect you.
We don't respect
what
you.
part of that you didn't get?
Like,
you gotta earn respect.
This aged horribly because nobody's trying to get on TV. Even Charlemagne, I think, what happened to the Charlemagne late night show that he had on TV? Regardless, anyway, somebody that had attempted TV, he went to Netflix now, which is streaming. And these guys, well, and this guy in particular, he's at radio now. So they took him off of TV and their TV show ended up getting canceled too. So clearly it wasn't doing too hot. So that flex it just didn't stick, to be honest. And it gets even worse because in another episode, they flex the TV thing again.
TV report.
Yeah, bull bags.
Internet talk show host, DJ Akademiks.
Time out. Internet talk show host.
What I said. He went on Twitch to talk about Joe Budden leaving his little internet show, Everyday Struggle, and he decided to buck some shots at a real live TV show.
Hey,
how you feeling, dog?
Hey, how you feeling, Kanush? That's the camera operator back there. We got a makeup person. We got another camera operator. We got producers.
Listen.
There's a TV show. They got lights. We in the studio. You feel me? We got guests. You know what I mean?
This ain't dial up, my.
Feel me? There's a crafty table back there.
So here, look, they're just trying to flex like, yo, we got the camera up. Well, what do they have now? Because if you had all of that 8 years ago, then I'm guessing you would have more than that now, but you don't because you're not in front of the camera anymore. Well, they are in Hot 97's YouTube channel, but they just came back to Akademiks', or Mero just came back to Akademiks' domain where he's doing pitiful numbers as we've seen. But this just passed for a while and then he decided to respond, Mero that is, once again. And I think it's because he saw a clip on X.
That you guys did suck at your job, but they hired someone who's worst. That was a DEI type of thing. I don't know. The new radio host up there at Hot 97, absolutely atrocious. I think he's going to be gone as soon as they get past the mandatory sign-in period. You know, sometimes they'll be like, oh, we'll sign you for 1 or 2 years. Then after we renegotiate, he's out the door as soon as that's done. But it's all good.
So here, in a couple of seconds before, he said your predecessor, which is the person before you. I think he meant your successor because their predecessor, who knows? Anyway, he's talking about Mero. And Mero would reply to this on X and says, I don't know how Livingston got fetal alcohol syndrome as an adult. Yeah, definitely not talking to new artists at Hot 97. Not at all. And then I don't even know if that's the thing that he said, but he links an interview that he did with Xavier So Based, which is a really good point. And that just goes to show you like that Xavier So Based got some motion because that got 38K. Most of these interviews are not doing those numbers, but that is cool to see that they are interviewing some newer acts. And I think he was trying to say like, oh, the Hot 97 at one point was trying to decide who could and could not blow up. But he says Livingston is a D-writer that needs this media guy gossip-ish to survive. He can't make anything. He can't have an original thought. Effing fat dork. And the continuing on, Akademiks would follow up with a flurry of tweets against this guy, saying, objectively, I believe the whole hip-hop thought E-Bum and Rosendweeb were a failure. But you even worse. You a DEI hire with failing numbers. You getting fired as soon as that guaranteed period runs up. You never had talent. It was the other ugly bald dude with a beard that was the guy. I don't know. I think those guys they were just a pair. I'm surprised they even separated. And he says, you the equivalent to Key from Key and Peele. You were the mascot, not the actual talent, you bum. You need to apologize and go back to sucking the D of that other ugly dude with the beard you used to ride his D for a check. You suck solo. I don't think he's even watched him to see if he sucks solo or not. And this guy says, this is getting ugly now and it's not looking good. And Akademiks says, that man ain't got no viewers. This ain't going nowhere once I stop responding. The brand ain't strong. I'm finna buy that ish. I gotta stop punching down. I guess I never forget bum people playing with me in the past, and their worst nightmares came to pass. Me where I am now came to pass. Me where I am now. I think he had to be a little bit drunk to reply to these guys because Mero would follow up in a long session on Hot 97. And of course, none of us watched it on Hot 97 or even on the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It was just spread out via clips. And will people start watching Mero after this? I don't know. But does he come back with a good comeback? Because 8 years ago, they came back with some heat. It was funny. Like they got the better of Akademiks. I'll say the only person that may have gotten a better clip out of him was Saucy Santana because that was a hilarious reaction. They could say like, oh yeah, we made Akademiks cry, but Saucy Santana did it better. Pause on that. You guys get what I mean. So we're going to look through a couple of his responses.
You know what I'm saying? I don't claim you.
You're not on my taxes. You're not a dependent, bro, but you depend on me to survive. Because if you don't say my name out your stupid fat mouth, you got no motion. You don't make nothing. You don't do nothing. You don't add nothing. You are a net negative to hip-hop culture. You are a net negative to society, gang. You know what's the saddest thing in the world? Sitting in your mother's basement, getting drunk off alcohol that she probably bought at Costco and talking crazy about any and anybody who matters more than you. And I know what burns you up inside, champ. I know what that thorn in your side ever since I made you cry live on stream years ago, and you can't let it go. What burns you up inside, my brother, is this. You talk about views, you talk about numbers, you talk about all this other type of stuff, data stuff that you analytical bozo nerds love to just throw up in the air whenever people say, that's whack. That's not culturally relevant. Guess what, fam? Everything I've ever done in my entire career has been culturally relevant. You understand what I'm saying? I'm up here high 97 because you know what we do up here? We move culture. We make culture up here. We make culture. We don't just talk about it, all right, fam? And that's what you do. You a gossiper.
First off, dog, it's been like 8 years and he uses the same, oh yeah, you in your mama's basement. It's like, dog, let's be real here. Like, that works 8 years ago. That doesn't work anymore. And then he talks about Akademiks depending on him. Anybody that Akademiks has beefed with, any other media outlet, there has not been a single media outlet that has mentioned this guy's name. So to try and say that they're dependent on you is just, it's bozo behavior, because this guy, when he was trying to roll out on the Rolling Stone, unprompted, not even asked about him, he brings up Akademiks' name talking about bullying, and he kicks this off. So really, who is it that needs him more? And then when he's talking about, oh, nerds and statistics and numbers, well, that's why the people before him got kicked off. That's what they're calculating right now. So everybody, any person that's signing him to Hot 97 is taking into consideration numbers and if they're able to make things shake, because people got to get paid there. He's got to get paid there. He's not showing up there for free. And then he's talking about, you know, like the whole gossip angle. Well, that's what a radio show talks. It's like you're not interviewing somebody the entire time. They're giving their comments and their perspective on things. And he just doesn't like them. That's why he calls it gossip as opposed to discussion. But when he talks about moving culture, this is probably the funniest and really most tone-deaf take, because what was the biggest cultural moment in hip-hop in the past several years, right? It was the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, and Akademiks was at the center of that. So, and he was used by Kendrick Lamar too. Like, he would be listening to a new track and Kendrick would drop a track on at the same time, knowing that he was listening to it. So he was the center of the biggest cultural moment, whether you like him or not. Like, you got to come at somebody's head top. It would have been better if he said, oh, you know, you got all this money now and you're still in a big house just getting drunk by yourself, and while I've got a family of, 4 kids. Like, that's something that you could piece up where it's factually true to a degree, and then people that may like your lifestyle more can resonate with that. And some people will be like, damn, man, he's just doing the same thing that he was doing 8 years ago, quote unquote, in his mom's basement. He's just got more money. Like, that's something you could come back with. But just coming back with stuff that's false is like, yeah, it just doesn't hit. It doesn't. And then he tries to flex the guests that he talks to, which is quite sad.
They get on it, social media, and ask me, yo, but is he lying? Yes, he is. Because let me tell you one thing, champ. You wish you could be me. That's what burns you up inside. You wish you could be us. Us. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just speaking for myself. I'm speaking for Mia Bell. I'm speaking for Kaz. I'm speaking for Shiny Culture, because you know what? When I sit down and talk to somebody, it's Denzel Washington. It's Barack Obama.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? It's Matt Damon. You know what I'm saying? It's the names that mean something in the culture of entertainment. When you sit down with a diabetic Tekashi and a guy called Whack 100 and a guy who hangs out in project courtyards yelling at windows. That's who you sit down with, champ. That's not what we do out here. Okay?
Here, he's talking about, this is so funny because he's talking about Hassan Campbell, he's talking about Whack 100, and he's talking about 6ix9ine. And that was Akademiks' first ever podcast when he did his Spotify deal, which was years ago. So he names those 3 people. He's like, oh, that's who you sit down when I sit down, I'm sitting down with all the people he named. But the thing is, the reason that this guy is sitting down with them is because the brand of Hot 97. It's not because Hot 97 is moving things right now. It's because people still haven't caught up, and there's still this, of course, with music, radio is really important. So there's still that aspect of it in terms of how it calculates for the charts and all of that, and relationships are important. And like I said, people before him on the radio station have spent decades building relationships within this industry. So he's not getting it because of him, he's getting it because of the radio station. And disregarding the whole Tekashi, like all those interviews, let's just take into consideration one of the biggest interviews, Ye doing that interview with the Hood, Akademiks. That was a huge moment. What is he going to say? Ye's not a legend? Is he going to compare Ye to Hassan Campbell or Whack 100? Like, he's just diminishing him by pulling up these worst examples that people will agree are like, oh yeah, we don't like these guys, they're just controversial and all that. So you have Ye. Well, to be fair, the Youngboy interview, I don't even think he ever dropped a Youngboy interview, so can't even give that one. A$AP Rocky, he sat down with A$AP Rocky. Is he going to say A$AP Rocky's not culturally relevant? Of course he's not going to disrespect A$AP Rocky because this guy's from New York too. But also giving exclusive access behind the scenes of multiple different shows with not only Birdman, who's a legend in hip-hop, but also at the Youngboy tour, which was one of the most legendary tours in the past couple of years. So those are just 2 major examples that we came up with that aren't easy to access for other people. And part of the reason why you could say the Ye interview didn't do more, which it did across social media, but it just wasn't allowed to be on main platforms because of how controversial it was. But the saddest part of this is when he tries to play like the tough guy act.
No smoke with nobody, especially me, fam, because let me tell you something right now. If it wasn't for them strip club bouncers that form a force field around you, you'd be fooled. You a 20-piece chicken nugget with sweet and sour sauce. All right? And let me tell you something. The last thing I'll say about you is that you a one-trick pony. You know how to do one thing, and that's exploit poverty, misery, and violence for your own monetary gain. And not all money is good money, but I'm good, daddy. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my koi fish. Shout out to Crunchy Black. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Derek Jeter. You feel me? Shout out to Aaron Judge and everybody else in the pond.
Man, you done lit the chat up today, Mero.
All right? So listen, y'all can clip this, do this, whatever. Y'all, ain't no way you can manipulate this video, gang. And Jay's giving me to wrap it up, so I'm going to wrap it up on this. My man, if you see me outside, put your head down and look at your shoelaces, all right?
So here, he's trying to say, like, yo, this is the worst part. Like, yo, I saw you, but, this would have happened if you didn't have this many people around you. Now, let's be real here, dog. Like, come on. Nobody is... Akademiks took it very disrespectful, as we played earlier, talking about the guy's family and all that. And this guy's kind of just trying to... I don't even know. Nothing's going to happen. This is the problem. So I don't know why he even takes it there and tries to play the tough guy role with Akademiks, because people don't even see him like that. And a lot of what, unless the majority of the genre that he's talking about is killing and all that. Now, you could say he instigates. Yeah, for sure. Like, this is where this guy needed to come back with better material. Like, he could say, like, yo, Akademiks, you instigate beefs. You'll call Whack 100 and instigate a situation that he has with somebody else. Yeah, you could say something like that, but he doesn't. He just says, oh, no, all you do is focus on, killing and negativity and this and that. And I just don't see how this guy can come at Akademiks when Kendrick Lamar, who's a big cultural figure that this guy probably has a level of respect for, this guy mentioned him on a track. Like, people are mentioning him on some of the biggest tracks ever. You just can't deny that. That's the problem. And he's replying like this is 8 years ago, where maybe Mero is still stuck 8 years ago, but it's 8 years later. A lot has changed. Akademiks is the number one platform. It just is what it is, whether you like him or not. And if you don't like him, you got to come with material that's actually critical that people would get behind that don't like him. Because even if you don't like Akademiks, you're definitely not like, yo, Mero's the guy. He's got it going on. And he's talking about like, yo, you're talking to bums or irrelevant people. This guy was talking to Xavier Sobased, who for all intents and purposes, just to illustrate my point, like he's on the come up, but that guy's a nobody. So this just, it came off bad with Mero. He needed to go, do some homework. Like, this was a moment he was waiting for, because this has been going on for 2 months since he did the first Rolling Stone interview. And this is what he comes back with. Frankly, it's pathetic. It is. And he has to talk about numbers, because what's going to happen when this guy's show gets canceled? He didn't even build anything in the past 8 years. Wayno was a smart guy who Wayno doesn't have. Somebody brought it up and he decided to give them some attention, beef with Akademiks. But he's a guy that he wanted to learn what was going on. And after he got off the Complex show, he started building up his own thing. And now he's got his own stuff going on. But yeah, let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all in the next one.